What's up guys, my name is Noriel and today we'll go over the fundamentals of shooting a pistol. A little bit about me. I am a active duty United States Marine. I've served for about 4 years. I started this channel because I bought my first pistol, my first personal pistol, and in the Marine Corps we are professionals at shooting rifles. So I bought my first pistol because getting out of the military and the way the world is, I definitely want to make sure I protect my family at all costs and anybody around that needs that protection. The pistol I bought is it's clear so you guys can see, nothing in. Um, it's a P365 X Macro. It has a Holosun 507 on it. And then my Streamlight is coming within the next couple days. I bought this pistol probably like 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I really love it. It's super concealable. It's a nice small fit for me to take out. It has a nice little weight to it, not too heavy. And I love this gun. I love this gun. The reason why I like it is because it has this nice compensator built in already. So it allows when you shoot, all the gases to come up through here and a little bit less recoil when you shoot. So better precise aiming and all that junk. So that's the reason why I got it. Please, if you enjoy this video, drop a like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification. It'll definitely help me. It'll help the algorithm, and hopefully you guys are on board to take this journey with me out to the range and building marksmanship. All right, so as far as fundamentals, in this video, we're gonna go over stance, grip, sight alignment, and trigger isolation and trigger pull. For your stance, how I was taught, and I want you guys to know that there's no right or wrong way to do anything. It's what's best for you. Shooting, marksman, and my experience in the Marine Corps, it's really what's best for you. There's fundamentals and tips that you can do in order to help you, but size matters, your strength, your stability, all that stuff matters. But these little fundamentals, if you apply them, it will definitely increase and help. So doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it this way. You could do it any way that feels comfortable for you. So first thing is your stance. The way that is comfortable for me, what I do is shoulder width apart. I kind of get into like a fighting stance. So I'm about to fight, right? Elbows in like this, hands down. That is my position. Knees bent a little bit, and that's my stance. One thing I definitely want to let you guys know is you're like bending your knees and you're dropping your weight at the same time, right? So you're not just gonna be like this, where you're just bending your knees. Bending your knees is there's no stability in there. You want to be able to drop your chest and your knees simultaneously. So like this, like a squat, like you're doing a squat. You're gonna drop a little bit so you get that stability, and when you point out, you're good, right? Next thing is your grip. Again, clear, right? So this part right here is the beaver tail, right? So I'm a right hand shooter. When I take my gun out the holster, if you guys can see. In order to get a good grip, you want this part of your hand, your web, to be up on that beaver tail as high as it can. The reason for that is because when you shoot, the recoil is gonna go back. The gun's gonna go up, and having your hand as far up there is less space for that gun to go up and come back down. Because lower here, when you shoot, it has so much more space for it to hit that back of your hand and stop and then come back down. So to minimize that, minimize recoil, you get it as high as you can. What I like to do, and if you guys can see my middle finger, there's like a crease part right here, right? My middle finger, I like to bring that around tight, right? Make sure I get a good grip there, and then the other two fingers comes down. So from there, that's a good grip on your shooting hand. For your support hand, what you want to do is your pointer finger, this one right here, goes under, right under here, and you want to align your fingers on the creases of your shooting your shooting hand. So you want to align your fingers on the creases of your shooting hand, and on this side, this part of your hand, the meaty part of your hand, you want that to be on contact with the weapon when you're shooting. Right? So I got a good grip on my shooting hand. This thumb is up. This hand, the meaty part of my thumb, is going to be on the gun. And then my shooting hand thumb will just lie right on top of there, right? With my hands in the creases of my shooting hand, this is a good grip. Good rule of thumb is your thumb, your supporting hand thumb, needs to be pointing where you shoot at. Also take note that the charging handle, that goes back every single time you pull the trigger, the charging handle will go back. So what I like to do is to put it right under it, so I don't have to worry about it going back. I just like putting it right under there. It feels more comfortable, and when I present, it's there, right? So that's your grip. You want to lock out your wrists when you present, right? And what I mean by lock out is if you shake somebody's hand, right? Your hand is not going like this. Your hand, your wrist is locked out, and you're shaking your hand like that. That's how you want to do it, right? So you lock your wrist out, and this is another thing that is whatever is more comfortable for you. You can lock your arms out all the way, or you can have a nice little bend to it. A good way to make sure that your elbow is always in, start at a compressed carry, and you just push out. That's the right way to do it. The wrong way will be with your elbows out and you pushing out like that. Big difference. You want your elbows to be in, out, in, out, in, right? So that's your grip. For sight alignment, I drew a picture for you guys because I'm a great artist. But for sight alignment, one thing that you want to keep in mind and kind of say in your head, as you do it more, you'll get it. But if you guys can see, this is your iron sights. So for this picture, the two outsides are the back sights, and the middle one is the front sight, right? The one thing that you want to remember is equal height, equal light. And what I mean by equal height is the back and the front needs to be at the same height, right? And then equal light means in between of the front and the back sights, it needs to have equal amount of lights in there. When it's not equal, I'll show you what it looks like right now. So for example of a not equal light is this side right here has more space, more light than this side. So essentially your shot will be going more to this side. An example of not equal height, which should be self-explanatory, but just for you guys, I'll show you, will be like this, where the back sights are not the same height as the front sight. The front sight is lower. So what will happen is your shot will go down because this front sight is lower. So whatever you're aiming at, it will be going lower. On your sights, these dots that you see, those are there for you to be able to line up everything perfectly on the height level. One thing that I want to let you guys know is even those dots are there, you're not aiming with that dot. What you're aiming with is the front sight, the top of it. The top of the front sight, you put that on wherever you want to shoot at, right? And really just depends on the distance. The distance, you obviously need to aim higher a little bit or adjust for the distance. But if you're up 5 to 10 yards, which is a self-defense distance, you're going to be aiming with the top of the front sights. Okay, so just to recap, we got the stance, which for me is the nice fighting stance, little bend to the knees and the chest, right? Grip, your web of your thumb and your finger high up on the beaver tail, right? High up on the beaver tail, thumb comes around, fingers follow, shooting finger off the trigger until you're ready to fight. I mean, ready to shoot. I mean, it's a fight too. Supported hand. First thing I like to do is the meaty part of my thumb comes on to the pistol, and the meaty part of, well, the thumb of my support hand is pointing to where I want to shoot at. Meaty part of the pistol, other fingers wrap around to secure it. Another thing too for you guys, your fire hand, what you want to do is kind of squeeze it from, it's gonna be a vertical squeeze, right? So these fingers are pushing in this way towards me. My thumb is kind of pushing that way. So this part of my hand pushing that way. This part of my fingers is pushing in, right? Your support hand is going to be a horizontal squeeze. So when you have everything set up, you're going to be squeezing horizontally, right? So for me, I just get a good grip, good squeeze, and I present, right? So now the last thing that we're going to go over is trigger control. The best thing I can tell you guys to do is, because whenever you shoot, right, if you pull the trigger and you don't isolate it, what will happen is you're gonna be shooting and your shot's gonna go bottom to the left. If you're a right-hand shooter, left-hand shooter is gonna be bottom right? But the reason for that is because when you pull, if you guys can see, when you pull, the last second right before you pull that trigger and you shoot the shot, you have movement in your gun. And that's because you are pulling, and it's a natural feeling for your other fingers to curl in. And that's what happens when you shoot. And what you could do is literally be at home and pull your finger down without your other fingers moving at all. And that's what's gonna help you with your trigger pulls, and especially with your grip too. If you have a good foundation grip here, you isolate that finger, you should see no movement in my gun. My finger's like this, and when I pull it straight back, that's what it does. Straight back. It's not going like this. It's not going like this. Knuckle straight, straight back, straight back. So here, if you guys can see, I should go on this side. I'll do it with one hand actually. Watch how my hand goes straight back. just like that. All right, guys, I don't want this to be too much of a long video. If you have any more questions, drop a comment. I will definitely make a video to go in depth on any one of these fundamentals. Just to recap, the fundamentals are your stance, your grip, your sight alignment, and your trigger pull and your trigger isolation. Dry fire is very important. Even the pros will tell you how many hours and hours they do with dry firing. You can literally be sitting at home watching videos or whatever you're doing and just practice your grip, practice your stance. You could be sitting down too, whatever, and practice your sight alignment and your trigger pulls. Make sure your sight alignment is not moving. Make sure that your gun is not moving left or right. Make sure you're equal height, equal light. Make sure you have a good grip. Your web of your finger is all the way up here. It's fundamental. These things you have to check out fundamentally every single time you pull that trigger. All you need is a dry pistol with nothing, and just practice your sight alignments. Dry firing is very, very important. It's just like practice before you go and you play a game. And then the all-star game is when you actually in the situation and you gotta and you know let that beat loop, you know what I'm saying? So practice, practice, practice. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, comment anything that you want me to go further in. Comment anything that you want to see in the future. If I should bring you guys on the range with me, show you a little bit of drills that I do with live firing. Any dry fire drills that you want to see, let me know. Just drop a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know the next video that comes out. And that's all. Peace.
I can't get out of bed, no drugs make me bad. I can't get out of bed, yeah, drugs.